Alright, we're in the nerd room here and we're just gonna go through some different stuff. We're looking at all the stuff fans have sent in, stuff James has bought at game conventions, and just anything. Stuff that got a game store, stuff that James even had since he was a kid, which I think this Nintendo here you had since you were a kid, didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. This used to be my old name tag right here. It had my name. I guess I tried to peel it off one time. I don't know.
What's the reason you don't use the NES anymore?
The original NES, I don't really use it because it just doesn't work good.
I think it's just funny that the nerd has a fucking toaster.
Yeah, it came from Richard Deleuze, who worked on the. He tried to fix my Jaguar CD unit. That wasn't working. Actually, a lot of people don't know. I don't think that I have a working Jaguar CD, and
right.
And I played a few of them.
Where are your Jaguar games and your Jaguar CD games?
Well, I just built this Atari shelf right here. This is specifically for Atari games. These are all the Jaguar games I have in a box. Here's all the Jaguar CD games I have in a box. Here's the ones that I have in jewel cases. And then down here, of course, it's Atari 2600 boxes. A few.
Wait. Can you go through a few of the Jaguar games? Because I don't know much about Jaguar. What Jaguar CD games do you have?
Well, just so you know, more of them are down here. These are like the cartridges.
Morph and Dino Dudes, but I don't know what all the rest of these are.
Yeah, because they don't have any end labels. Each of these games to see what they are.
Have you played any of those?
I played some of them.
Have you played any Jaguar CD games, or?
Oh yeah.
Is there any that you remember?
I played them all pretty much.
Oh yeah.
I don't own that many. Like I didn't.
That used to be like a popular computer game, I think.
Yeah. Dragon's Lair is. This one is kind of more like the the actual.
It's not like the Nintendo game.
Yeah, like the Nintendo game was way different from Dragon's Lair. Used to be like an interactive.
So it's like the arcade kinda.
Yeah. Battle Morph, it's like, I mean, the thing about these games, I played them and they're just kind of mediocre. It's really not, the things that seem to make the best videos are Nintendo games. I don't know, they just turn out the best.
They're trying to figure out of all these friggin' games in this room, what should be the game to review.
I mean, I don't spoil tons of Jurassic Park games.
I know there's one on Genesis.
There's multiple ones on Genesis.
There's multiple ones. I've only played one of them.
Yeah, I'll show you. Well, there's Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park.
Isn't there like a Sega CD?
There's a system.
Jeez.
And the thing is, like there's one on 3DO right here. And the thing about all these Jurassic Park games is that they're all different. Like here's the Sega CD version.
They're completely different games.
Completely different. Like this one is kind of more like a point and click game, There it is. This is the Rampage edition one.
Yeah.
I don't know, can you see that? Oh yeah, by the way, there it is. I was just looking for that. Street Fighter 2 on Commodore 64.
And you've played that, right?
Well, here's the thing. The Commodore 64 is really temperamental. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I got as far as the screen where you select the characters and then it froze. So I didn't actually see the actual fighting screen. It's basically, I mean, it's Genesis and what's the other one? It's NES, 8-bit, and Genesis. So basically you play a Nintendo and a Genesis game, apparently.
So it's like one of those multi-console, like an FC Twin type of thing. What are all these back here?
Oh, Commodore 64.
Those are the Commodore 64 cartridges.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, there's Commodore 64 cassettes and Commodore 64 discs.
Commodore 64 kind of Transylvania cassette. Isn't that crazy that you could play a game?
Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China, the cassette tape game.
Yeah. And I got Friday the 13th on cassette, Ninja Turtles.
Wow.
You know what's really weird? On disc, the Simpsons arcade game.
Really?
Check this out.
On a floppy?
On a and you know what? Just so you know, the Simpsons arcade game was never ever released before.
So that's the same. That's like the real arcade game.
This is. I guess you want to try it.
Okay.
Let's just. I don't know if it's gonna work or not because this thing is.
Okay, this will be good. We're gonna try to get the Commodore going right now, because we've tried to do this before and there's always been some kind of problem whenever we try to get this thing going.
Annoying.
Temperamental piece of shit.
It really is.
By the way, I love the Ninja Gaiden poster.
Yeah. Been load. Instead, it's load. load, parentheses, asterisk, parentheses, comma, 8, comma, 1. And there we go. Now it's trying to load up the disc.
All right, and this usually takes about 3 hours, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It's not even doing it.
That this thing never fucking works.
It never works. But it's always different. It'll either not do anything, or like you'll actually get into the game and it'll freeze, or
Yeah.
like you just never know with this thing why it doesn't work sometimes. Because you know, some of these games might be made for newer Commodore models, and like, well, we tried it. We didn't get very far at all.
So, Flight Commander and Cosmic Commander, huh?
That was an abandoned video. It was I was gonna do Atari accessories, and then there wasn't much to say about them.
Right.
You just fly like. Well, I used this in the Atari Jaguar video.
Yeah.
I was like using it as like a gun.
This thing does look pretty interesting, though. Cosmic Commander. What's all that shit?
Just bunch of shit.
Just a bunch of shit?
Atari 2600, Wonder Wizard, Intellivision 2. I got the PAL Super Nintendo Action Max.
Oh, the Action Max. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like your Rolling Rock clock.
Yeah, the Rolling Rock clock.
Here is your Nintendo Power collection. There's the Vectrix.
Vectrix, yeah, that thing's cool.
What's going on up here?
These are Odyssey 2 games. Here's the actual cartridges, and here's the boxes. I always like the covers of these things. It does not look. There's not much to say about these kind of games, but
And then up here you got some Neo Geo games.
yeah, these are Neo Geo, which are huge. I once showed it in the intro of a video where I put it on a scale and it weighs like 60 pounds or something. And no, it doesn't actually weigh 60 pounds. People ask me about that all the
It's a
time.
joke, right?
Just a joke, yeah.
Or I guess you've probably showed these in your Pong video.
Probably 6, yeah. And then I think I showed that in the Pong video, yeah.
Now, here's a
Is like the only one that the Odyssey worked on. This Odyssey right here.
the original Odyssey.
The original Odyssey. This is the only TV that it really worked on.
So that's why you keep it around.
Because it has the, yeah, you know, like, it just had the right connection on the back, basically. So I keep it around.
Just in case you want to play the Odyssey.
Yeah, I guess it's mostly for, or anything. I could plug anything to it, but, because I have so many systems, and at a certain point when you have so many, like, game systems in one room, eventually you're going to, what can you do?
Here we got, these are boxes for 3DO, right? Are there actually games in here, or are these just the boxes?
Games are in there,
Oh, games are in there.
But, the games inside these boxes, they come in, like if you open one of these up, they usually come in, like, jewel cases. So what you get also is like, you know, these are all 3DO games here, and also CDI, PlayStation, and then it goes to Sega Dreamcast, and then random shit at the end.
TurboGrafx 16 CD.
Yeah, I only have 2 of them right now. I need to get more, but
Okay.
all I have for the video, so
Okay.
like that was why I got it. And then it came from the desert, which I played once.
Was it good or bad?
It was kind of mediocre.
Mediocre. Genesis, and do you remember? Did you have Master System when you were a kid?
You know, the story on Master System, no, I never had it as a kid. There was one kid on the neighborhood who had the Master System, and this was when Genesis was starting to, you know, get popular. And I went over his house, and he was like, "Oh, you want to play some Sega?" And back then, if you said Sega, you meant Sega Genesis. 'Cause
Right.
that was the only one.
Oh, and he had
And then-
that.
Yeah, and then he goes, "Oh, it's a Sega Master System." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, Sega Master."
It was like the newer
Yeah,
thing.
it was like, you know, that was the Sega. This is the Sega Master System. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be even better.
You didn't realize it was
Yeah.
older.
And we played it, and it was like, what is this piece of shit? And he's like, oh, well, this is before the Genesis. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. Well, why wasn't the Genesis called the Master System then?
So I see there's Alf on the Master System.
Wooly, ah!
Hey, you know what I find funny? Out of everything in the room, the only thing you seem to really have much room left for is Atari. That's the only one you made. You specifically made a little more room to get some more.
When you're collecting games, it's hard when you have so many different kinds of games, because if this room was full of DVDs, it would all be DVDs, I guess. But since they're games and they're all different, not even so much the sizes, but I mean, yeah, that's a part of it too. but Nintendo.
So it's hard to figure out a way to organize it. Is what you're trying to say?
It's like you need to leave space for every single kind of game there is. Like right now, if I want to put in like another,
like above the TV, but then he's got so many. See, they won't all fit right there above the TV, so it continues on up here. And as he gets more Super Nintendo games, it's gonna
push everything else.
Yeah, he's gonna get that. They're gonna keep going, and then he's gonna have to push this stuff over, and then, you know, because as you get more games, you have to keep rearranging the room.
Yeah, and like I might get one new game. I was able to clear off one clean shelf.
I see that you have one shelf.
Yeah.
So you still got room left to get some more games. Then.
Yeah, and I hear because I know a lot of people don't know, but this basement is hot as hell.
Or it used to be.
Yeah, right now.
I remember when we shot the Batman video.
If you
we were sweating balls down here. All right, so let's look down here in this corner. I've never really what is all this down here?
Oh, this is all.
What are those gray boxes there?
Action Max.
Those are Action Max. I've never played Action Max.
Yeah, Action Max are actual.
Looks like a VHS tape.
They're VHS games. This
VHS games. It's like a VHS tape.
It is a VHS tape.
What the because I never played it or heard of it.
Well, see what it is you put the tape in, and then the tape has all these ghosts and stuff, and then the Action Max comes with a gun, so you shoot it at the TV screen, and there's like a sensor you put on the TV, and when the ghosts come, there's like little lights on them, and I guess it works kind of like the duck hunt, you know, like the zapper.
Right.
And if you shoot the target, then it counts it as a point.
Huh.
But it's
that's bizarre.
It's really bizarre.
All right, and then above that, you got your Sega CD games, and then these are 32X. These are more 32X, and this is the Sega Saturn games. You got a lot of Sega Saturn games.
Yeah.
Gex. Alone in the Dark.
Well, that was, you know what you're saying about Gex?
Oh,
it's on Saturn too.
So it's on Saturn too.
Yeah. Loaded. I remember Loaded. Loaded was fun. I played it on a PlayStation.
That's a good game.
It's monotonous, but it's fun. You just go around and shoot the shit out of everybody. Lately, I've been sort of just going by the moment. Like, okay, what game do I feel like doing right now? Because if I'm doing something that I had on a list like a year ago, you know, it's more fresh if I just pick one and get inspired right now. So what Mike and I are going to do is just play some games today and actually just get inspired.